Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Yeah, so for the late arrival, as it were, on Cannon Fodder TV. The Easy Talk bite size, as you can probably see, I don't have any. There's no guests. There's no guests. I decided to do like a very short Easy Talk bite size on my own. Yeah, absolutely on my own. There's no one here with me, and it's 20 past 8 in the evening UK time. But those of you who have joined me, thank you very, very much. And no doubt you'll have noticed that we are uploading directly, yes, directly back on YouTube as well as on Twitter. I did actually put a tweet out that we've reached 500 followers on Twitter, and I have to say thank you very much to all of you, literally all of you who have followed us. 2 years, 2 years has gone very, very quick. Oh my goodness! But yeah, thank you, because without you guys, there could never ever be a Canon 4A TV. So from myself and from my brother, who's my co-host, who hasn't been here for quite a while, thank you very, very much. But also make sure, if you are new to Canon 4A TV, that you subscribe now. Yes, hit the subscribe button as well as the notification button so you can receive all the latest and greatest news right here on Canon 4A TV. Yeah, we've got a new intro. That surprised you, didn't it? Yeah, so what I actually wanted to talk about was the two new signings. Yes, yes. Pablo Mari and of late Cedric Soares. Now, I know there's been a lot of tweets this week about the on-off affair, the on-off. Is it going to happen? Is it not with Pablo Mari? And in the end, was it all a smokescreen? Was it just designed just to get us, back on the edge of our seats? But anyhow, we've got the guy, and he's come from Flamengo. I've seen some people put in a flamenco. Flamenco is a Spanish dance, isn't it? But yeah, he's come from Flamengo, yes. And he's 26 years of age, a left-footed, solid CB. And listen, the way I feel is, if it's going to bolster our defense, not if he is going to bolster our defense, then why not? There was a contentious situation with his team and Arsenal. He arrived all the way from Brazil only to find out, well, actually, we're not going to be buying you. It's like we're loaning you, maybe with an option to buy at the end of the season. And he flew back to Brazil. And was it a smokescreen? But it doesn't really matter because we've got the guy now, and he's not going to be available because he has not played since December. So that's one out of the way. It's like a bus. You wait for ages for, a London bus, and then, two and three come all together at the same time. So we've got Cedric Soares from Southampton, a 28-year-old. And I saw his interview he did with Arsenal, where he was actually saying that it was 6 years, 6 years in the making. We're supposed to have this guy 6 years ago, and it didn't happen. And we've got him, and you know what? He's injured. He's injured. So we've got another player who's not ready quite yet. But again, he's going to provide much competition in that the right back position that's currently occupied by Hector Bellerin, and also Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Wow, a trio of action on the right-hand side there. But I wanted to know, what do you actually think about the two signings? Do you think there could probably be more before actually the deals are done and dusted? We've got best part of like 3 and a bit hours left. Are you guys happy? Come into the comments box and tell me whether you're happy or not with the business, the transfer dealings that Arsenal have actually done so far. There's not been any outgoings yet. Which players do you think, or do you think that Arsenal would have gotten rid of. I'm not going to mention any names. I'm not going to say anyone. I don't want anyone coming on top of me like a load of abuse. But yeah, I'll leave it to you guys. So if you can come into the comments box now and tell me marks out of 10 for the transfer window so far. Do you think we could probably get another deal done in the dying hours? And yeah, what do you think? What do you think about Pablo Mari? Is he going to upgrade our defense as well as Cedric Soares? Again, for me, I'm happy. I'm happy, and this, Mikel Arteta did actually say that he identified the weaknesses. He spoke to the board, and they've acted upon his advice. So, what more needs to be done? Personally, I would have liked if we had a central defensive midfielder, somebody who can pair with Lucas Torreira, because he can't do it on his own. He can't. I've said it so many times on Canal 4 TV. He can't do it on his own. Right. So before I continue, let's just quickly go into the comments box and let's see what's going on. What's going on? Hey, we've got Stan the Man 450, and he's giving the applause. And yeah, I think it's referring to the 500 followers on Twitter. And we currently stand at 2,740 subscribers on YouTube. So again, you guys, if you're watching for the first time, make sure you subscribe to Cannon Fodder TV. Yes, so you can receive all the latest and greatest news. And we've also got Arsenal TV. Richard was also making his way to 1,000 subscribers. I'm not sure what his numbers are because, yeah, you would have noticed there's been no fan comments for the last 2 weeks. We're trying to modify the content and bring in some different content that I'm sure you guys are going to like. So there have had to been some sacrifices made on Canal 4 TV. So up at this point, there was no fan comments until maybe sometime in the future. There's going to be lots of other bits and pieces coming up right here on Cannon 4 TV. Right, and Shanderman says, having Suarez give us another midfielder in AZ. Yeah, it's more competition, isn't it? And we've already spoken about that. In that position there, like you said, Stan, is like he's a temporary stopgap. And realistically, it's the only position that Maitland-Niles can actually access and be part of the first 11, because in the midfield, really, we've got enough midfielders. We have enough midfielders. So, yeah, he's an upgrade, man. Upgrade. Richard from Arsenal TV says, so I'll give this a solid 7 out of 10. I tend to agree. I mean, I doubt very much if Arsenal can get any more business done between now and before the deadline. But if they do, yeah, it could be a 7.5 out of 10. Oh, Standard Man, 6. Why 6? You tight geezer. Ha! Why 6 out of 10, Stan? Why? And then Richard says he's currently on 847 subs. Again, so make sure, guys, that you go over there and you subscribe to Arsenal TV. Right, there is also a business about a game on Sunday. We're playing against, Sean Dyke's Burnley, the new Stoke City in the Premier League. It's going to be a tough ask for us to go away from home, come back with the points, no injuries, a clean sheet, and Lacazette scoring. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm definitely going to be going for a draw, a 2-2 draw. Listen, I always want Arsenal to do the best possible, but I also want to be, a realistic. We can't win all the games. We're not going to win all the games. It's not going to happen. In this tenureship where we've had, had Wenger, we had Emery, we had Lundberg, temporary, and now we've got our, Arteta. So, things need to even themselves out before we can start to think, right, Arsenal are now a force to be reckoned with. We are a long way off from that point. A long way off. But you know, it's a work in progress. So it calls for cool heads and a lot of patience. So at some stage this season, Mikel Arteta might lose 1 or 2 games. Does it call for him to be sacked and fired? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. So support the players as well as the head coach in Mikel Arteta and Arteta Ball. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw come Sunday at 2 p.m. I'm going to be watching. Yeah, I might do actually a watch along. Yeah, guys, Tom, what do you think? Do you think I should do a watch along and maybe you guys can come in and, yeah, you know, just kind of lose your heads over the game. Right, back into the chat. And we've got, again, Richard, this is, I think Pablo Mane will help us be organised at the back and play a better high line defensive system. And I think Cedric Soares will bring quality and commitment and energy to the side as well. Yeah, again, just alluding back to the interview that he did with Arsenal, he did say that his kind of style of play is he likes to be the one to kind of, you know, be going forward quickly and coming back quickly, in equal measures. So hopefully we'll see some kind of Man City ball where the players at the back are not playing the ball slowly. They'll be playing the ball, at a quicker tempo. But we've got to live in hope. Live in hope, man. Stand the man. Having Suarez gives us another. Oh, sorry, I've read, haven't I? God, what's going on? It's Friday. I've got Luca from Arsenal Vlogs. Hi, how are you? I've noticed that your sub numbers are going very, very high, very, very quickly. Just going by your content. Well done. And you also say that you do watch-alongs and you are currently on 508 subscribers. Mube Guna, big man, Bloodfire is in the house. He said, yo, my G. Hey, listen, I know we said, yeah, your birthday on Monday, happy birthday and ting. But again, happy birthday. I hope you drank enough of the H Hennessy. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, man. Right. And then Bollix99 says, for Asia McNiles in defense. Again, given a choice between Bellerin, Asia McNiles, and Suarez, who's yet to come in, really, which player would you prefer to have in that right back position there? Because Bellerin needs competition. He needs someone or some players to push him. No player should feel like their place is cemented, that they're safe in the team. No player that goes for Lacazette, Aubameyang, Ozil, did I mention him? Pepe. None of the players should have the feeling of entitlement that they're going to be an automatic on the team sheet. None of the players. Okay, then we've got, my lineup is Leno, Bellerin, Socrates, Holding, Saka, Xhaka, Torreira, Ceballos, Pepe, Aubameyang, Martinelli. Or Lacazette at number 10. I've seen this actually option banded around a lot on social media, that maybe Lacazette could be our number 10. But he's paid to score goals. And he's dried up. The goals are dried up. So, do you not think maybe he needs to be benched? I don't know. Another one. Mube Goodness says, thanks, man. Really happy with our purchases. We actually addressed our problems with spending. I saw your tweet before. Yeah, these players will go on loan deals. There's no money in the kitty. So the next best thing is to get these players on a loan deals with the option to buy at the end of the season. because right about now we don't have any money. Actually, you know what? This is a very good point. Hector needs to bulk up again. It will take time. Yeah, I noticed he's looking a little bit skinny, man, and in the leg area, man. So yeah, he needs to bulk up. But is he the same player? Is he the same player? To me, he's lost some of his pace. I know he scored a goal, for us against, Chelsea there. But before that, I saw William just having, him a merry dance. But I think, yeah, does he need to be bulked up? Could be. I think we should give Willock a chance at number 10. Oh. To play as 10, you need to have inch perfect passing. Lacazette doesn't have that in his locker. He has good hold-up play, but yeah, his passing from a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the best and 1 worse, yeah, it's like a 4 or 5. Yeah, that's not his strengths. So yeah, I wouldn't play him at a number 10. Okay. I think because we're actually back and live back on YouTube, I'm going to put a couple of invites out to a couple of familiar faces. If you guys want to come on, by all means come on. I mean, we're going to be probably going live for another maybe 10 more minutes. So the invite goes out to Stan the Man if you want to come on. Richard from Arsenal TV. And maybe Mube Guna. I think maybe you've got lots of work on your hands. So tell me, in the chat if you guys would like to come on live with me before I clock off in the next 10 minutes. So, okay, so the invite goes out to Stan the Man and Richard from Arsenal TV. Right. Okay. So I'm going to send you guys the invites now. And so whilst I'm sending out the invites, again, guys, maybe you can tell me your predictions for the game on Sunday against Burnley. What do you think the prediction? Well, the scoreline is going to be for the game on Sunday versus Burnley. Sorry about this. It's going to take a little bit of time. Okay, so there's yours. And also tell me, do you think we missed out on maybe another player? I know we've got 2 players in the transfer windows, but which player do you think Arsenal really missed out on that we should have got in this transfer window? And which one player do you think we should have got rid of in this transfer window? Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, and there's the other one. Sorry, guys, I actually should have done this before, but it's better late than never, isn't it? Better late than never. All right. I don't think the viewers want to see me. Stan, actually, I'm wearing half my PJs as well. Ha! Oh, dearie me. All right, so here's my ex-co-host of Fan Comments, Richard. Good evening. How are you, man?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm happy in terms of the way the transfers have been going at the moment. I know we've been linked with so many players over this month, and we've only got 2 players in at the minute.
Yeah. And so you would give Arsenal a 7 out of 10 in this transfer window?
I mean, what the club has done, they've identified the areas that needed covering, like the centre back position needed covering. We needed cover for the right back position because the only people that we've got for the right back is Hector Bellerin and Ainsley Maitland-Niles. And obviously, we know that if we didn't bring in Pablo Mari, then we know that we would have only had 3 centre-backs. So we needed to bring in someone ASAP. I don't care that it is a loan move. I really don't care that it is a loan move. But remember, he was actually picked up in 2016 by Man City, but he didn't really get that much of a look into their first team. So I think that they've sort of missed the boat on this one. That's why I think now with Mikel Arteta is now coming as a head coach, he's probably saw it as an opportunity to bring him in. So I'm quite happy in terms of what they've done. I just think that in the summer, we need to go and get a central defensive midfielder, another one to play alongside Torreira. And for me, in terms of if it's going to be for a summer move, my ideal choices would be Wilfred Ndidi for Leicester, and I'll go for Decore for Watford. Those would be my 2 main choices. But I'm happy in terms of everything that's gone on at the moment.
Yeah, Richard, hand on heart, I've not seen Cedric Soares play. Have you seen him play?
For Southampton, I've seen him play a couple of times for them, and I think that, like as he said in his interview, he will give commitment, he will give the energy, and I think that's what we need. We need someone that's going to challenge Bellerin on that right-hand side. But it's not just Soares can't just play right back. He can also play left back as well. So he can operate both sides, and I think we need someone that can do both. If one person's injured, then he can go onto the other side. So
yeah, Mube, your marks out of 10 for Arsenal in the transfer window.
I'm gonna give it a 8 for me, or 7.5, 8 for me. Yeah, I'm gonna give it that much, just for the simple fact we didn't waste money. You know, we addressed the area that we needed to address, but we didn't waste any money. We didn't commit to any players long term. If they don't work out, we can send them back and fix stuff in the summer. You know, we have Saliba coming over after his loan deal. We can pick up another center back if this Marie guy doesn't work out. And then I think the Southampton guy deal, the one from Southampton, is the one I'm really happy about because he comes with PL experience. He's 28 years old, and I think he's going to be here long term. I really do, because if you watched him, he's a really good player. He plays well for them, and he's playing well for Southampton team that, you know, doesn't really see much of the ball most of the games that they play in the PL. You know, and I was just looking back as I was just wondering when they got smacked up 9-0 by Leicester. I went back and checked the score. Checked the team sheet, and he wasn't playing in that game. They got beat by someone 4-1. He wasn't playing in that game. But I watched the game that he was playing in, and you know they got a couple of clean sheets in there, like 3-4 clean sheets in there, a couple of 1-1 draws. He beat Southampton. He was in that team when they beat Southampton, not Southampton, Tottenham, and they beat Spurs. He was in that team. They beat Spurs 1-0. So I'm kind of excited about that signing, man. Like Richard just said a while ago, he can actually cover both fullback position, not just that one, which I think is really interesting because we can't seem to keep Bellerin fit. We can't seem to keep Kolasinac fit. That's been since last season, and Tierney won't be back until March. So it's good to have some cover, man. It's just good to see us addressing the areas that is concerning to us, and we bring a center back in. I'm very happy about that. That's one more step back away from playing Mustafi again. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah. And I was just come by watching Channel 4 TV. We're once again live back on YouTube as well as Twitter. I've got Mube Guna, and I've also got Richard from Arsenal TV. We're just talking about the transfer windows with Pablo Mari and Cedric Soares. And whoever's watching, tell us your thoughts. Marks out of 10 so far. Is there any more business to be done in the next few hours? You look at Wolves and the Portuguese Revolution. Is this a revolution? Is this a Spanish revolution? A South American revolution? Move, Richard.
Go ahead, Richard.
Do you know what? To be honest, I don't know. I know we've had Spanish players in the past. We've had Santi Cazorla, who I would die to have back. But I don't know. I think we're still in terms of getting the players from like from Southampton and clubs like that. I think we're sort of going the same way Liverpool went. So I think it doesn't matter where they come from, as long as they can do the job.
Yeah,
That's all that matters. So
yeah.
I think that's the sort of route that we're going down, and sort of the way Liverpool have gone.
Hmm. Mube is top
Yeah.
four. Is Mube is top four definitely out, even though we've got these players.
No, top four is not out for me. It's you just a couple weeks ago. We look at 5 weeks ago, it was in the top three, or 6 weeks ago, it was in the top three when we first started the season. Man U was down there in the relegation half of the table. Look at them now; they're in fifth place. If you put a couple, the table is so tight. I know we're in 10th, but if you put 3 or 4 wins together, you go from 10 to 6. You know, it's nothing. It all depends on us, man. If we got to run a game coming up. If we can go on a run, win 4 of the next 5, or probably try to win 5 of the next, I think we can get back in the running for it. It's going to be difficult, don't get me wrong. And these players that comes in, we don't know much about them. We haven't seen them play that much. We don't know how they're going to fit in the team. But I think as a team, we have been playing better since Mikel Arteta come in. We've been trying different stuff, but you can see that he is coming with an idea and he's sticking to it. The players just got to adjust to it, and that's all I wanted from a manager. You come in with an idea, stick to it. You don't change for the players. Arsenal have a way that we play. We play football. I know back in the day we usually be the 1-0 Arsenal, but Arsene Wenger worked very hard to change that, and fans buyed into it. Even when we wasn't winning for years and years, one thing we could have always counted on that we was going to play good football. We haven't seen that in a while, so now we're getting back to the basics. You can see a structure in the team now defensively. Players look better. Luiz all of a sudden now look like the Luiz he was on the Conte at Chelsea, because he's actually playing good now.
Mm.
So if we can move him to the right-hand side of the defense, bring in Marie, which is a left-footed ball-playing center back, it brings more into the Arteta way that he wants to play, just like there was at City. You have 2 ball-playing center backs. You don't have to depend on Luiz to play every ball out from the back. So we can go different routes. So I definitely don't think it's out of dimension. Like what you asked earlier about the South American takeover in the Premier League, I think it's just a fact of people are seeing that these players from that side of the world, they're just a little bit more hungry than the ones that, grew up with, that my grandma would say, the gold spooning them out pretty much. They come. You see here Martinelli talk about playing bare feet, on rocky pitch and stuff like that. It's just a fact. If you look at Sanchez when he was here, he came to Arsenal with a hunger. He was here when he first came to Arsenal. He was a hunger player. First 2-3 seasons, you could have saw that. All of a sudden, he could have got that money that he was supposed to get, and all of a sudden, he wasn't hungry for the game no more. He left to went to Man U because of money. It wasn't about football anymore. So if you can get these young players, like I said, Martinelli, Marie, he got a point to prove because he was already at England. He didn't make it at Man City. He got shipped back to Brazil. Now he's here for a second chance. Let's hope he can take it, and we'll see what's going on, man. But definitely, I'm all for going to Brazil, getting these players, because if they're anything like Martinelli, I'm down for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Richard, Lacazette. There's a problem with Lacazette. He's not scoring any goals.
No, he's not. You listen. You can't fault him for his work rate and the amount of effort he puts into every game. He gives 100%, but he's paid to score goals. Now, I personally think that with all this rumours that's going around about him and his personal life, I think that could sort of be having an effect on him. It could, but I don't know. I just think personally, I think we should drop him. I think he needs to take a step back and to, gather his thoughts about his personal life and find a solution for that. But I think that he's sort of taken it to the field, and that's probably why he's not performing in terms of scoring the goals that he was last season. So I think he may need to be dropped, play Aubameyang up top, play Martinelli out on the left, either Willock or Ceballos in that number 10 as the attacking midfielder, and see what happens.
Yeah. Mube, Lacazette, man. What's going on, man?
Oh, God. That's my guy. You already know that's my guy, man. But I agree with what Richard said. You have to, at some point, you have to give him a break out the team. You have to. I think as now is the time because if you look at the option that we have for a front three, we have players like it's if we could put Aubameyang up there, play Martinelli on one side and play Pepe on the other side. That would be a starting three. Then you look at the bench, you have Lacazette, you have Reece Nelson. You know, you have players on the bench that could make a difference. He's going to get game time. There's no doubt about it because after we play Burnley, we have that little 2-week break. I think he probably needs that break more than anybody else. You know, to work on his game, clear his head, get out the country. They said he was going wherever they go for that little break.
Yeah,
He needs it more than anybody else. So I would take him out the firing line right now. Probably bring him on in the second half when Burnley tired. Maybe he can score a goal when we're trying to get one. Maybe if the game is finished, you know, give him a run out against a tired defense. Because the thing is, his fitness is not where it was either. He runs around a lot because Arteta is asking him to do a lot more, close down players. But by you look 67 minutes, he's gassed. He's already gassed. So give him a little break. I'm not going to lose faith in him, but right now he's just not on form. It happens to players. It's just when it happens to strikers, it shows up more because you're not scoring goals. So I would definitely give him a break, like Richard said. After the break, we have a lot of games coming up. We have the Premier League, then we have the Europa League. Back in the Europa League, so we're going to play on Sunday and Thursday. We're not going to be able to play the same players for the both games. It's not going to happen. So he will have chances. And I think just give him a break out the team, man. I hope he can come back and play, man, because that's my guy. Him and Aubameyang, we have a problem with their contract. The problem with him is he has 2.5 years left on his contract. Aubameyang only have 1.5 years left on his contract. So if you're going to sell one of them for the benefit of the club, it's got to be Aubameyang, because if you don't sign a contract between now and the summer, we have to get rid of him too. We don't want to see another Sanchez or Ramsey situation on our hand. We don't want that. As much as I want him to stay, don't get me wrong. Yeah. Aubameyang is my guy. I want him to be here because he's the best striker that we have at this club. You can't buy 20 goals a season. It's just hard to get it. But we can't take any risk with it.
Yeah. All right. Let me go into the chat for the last time before we wrap up this easy talk, bite size. And I've got Arsenal Vlogs. He's going for 2-1 Arsenal. Richard, have you done your preview?
No, my preview is not coming out until tomorrow. I'm not doing it until tomorrow.
Okay.
In terms of excuse me, in terms of the score line for the game, I will either take a 2-1 Arsenal or a 2-2 draw. Personally, because we know how tough Burnley are at home. When we go away to Turf Moor, we know how tough it is. And what I've noticed this season is that the amount of games that we've played, and we've drawn most of them. Now, last season, the majority of them we will have lost. So we must be moving in the right direction to be drawing most of our games.
Yeah.
Against the teams that we would have lost last season. I do reckon that Mikel Arteta will go with the full side. I don't know the circumstances on David Luiz, because I don't know if it's a 3-match ban or if it's just a 1-game ban. If it's just a 1-game ban, then David Luiz should be back for this game against Burnley at the weekend. I would start him over Rob Holding.
Well, actually, let me put it out there. Anyone who's watching live now, if they can do a quick research and let us know, is it a 1-game ban or is it a 3-game ban for David Luiz? Let us know before we wrap this up.
Yeah, but for what I saw on the Arsenal website, it said for Aubameyang, it said the 3 games that he was going to be missing, and David Luiz, it only said the Bournemouth game. So I'm not quite sure if it is only just a 1-game ban. If it is, then that's ideal for us. Obviously, because I don't know if Pablo Mali is going to be ready to play for us. No, so we will definitely need David Luiz. In terms of the way he's been playing, I wouldn't drop him. Okay. I wouldn't drop him at his precise moment. Okay. So yeah, I'd probably either go with a 2-1 Arsenal or go with a 2-2 draw.
Okay. Then we've got Ballsticks99 says 3-0 Arsenal. Oh, very bold. 3-0. Clean sheet. Away from home. Oh. Mube, we're just talking about the prediction for Sunday. What's your prediction?
I'm with that last one that you just say. 3-0 to the Arsenal.
Yeah? Clean sheet. Wow.
I would. We've been playing though, man. it's not the same defensive unit. We have been playing better. It's just the chop and changing that been killing us. Every game, somebody either get hurt or get suspended. It's just nonstop.
Oh wow, 3-0. Okay. The Luca goes on saying, yes, I think Arsenal really should have got a centre back, another real statement. Okay. And then I feel Arsenal should have got a centre back. I rate 5 out of 10. Terrible transfer window. I feel Arsenal did okay with bringing 2 loan deals, but you got to remember Cedric not answer. He's not the answer. Okay, why would you bring? Because he's injured, isn't he?
Yeah, I can understand why Luca has just said that. That why would Arsenal bring in 2 injured players that really you want 2 players that can start immediately?
Yeah,
I can understand that point.
Well, Jose Maria is not injured. He just played the other day against Liverpool. He's not injured. They just started preseason, and Cedric injury is nothing big. We have a 2-week break coming up. He's back in training. So we got a 2-week break coming up. He's going to miss the game against Burnley, but he wasn't going to come in and start over Bellerin anyway if Bellerin is fit. So they're bringing in a player as a cover. He's not coming in as a starter, So I think that's kind of far-fetched. The center back is not injured. He just played. He played the whole December. He just played against Liverpool 2 weeks ago in the final, the Champions Cup final. So he's not injured. They just got back. They just haven't been playing because their season is finishing in Brazil. But he just played against Liverpool 120 minutes, kept Mane, Salah, and Firmino quiet until they scored that 1 goal. So I'm with it, man. He's not injured. We needed a left-footed center back because we didn't have any. The balance of the defense was poor. Now we have competition there. Now these players have to step up. I expect Socrates and Luis to start tomorrow with Saka on the left side and Bellerin on the right. That's the back 4 that I expect to see. I don't expect much change going forward. Probably Aubameyang coming in the team. Of course, he's going to come in for Lacazette. But as far as the midfield, you have Xhaka, you have Torreira and Ozil. They're pretty much going to start because they didn't even play the other day in the FA Cup. But as far as the defense go, I think we did good to address the positions that we needed. Cedric is going to turn out to be a shrewd signing for me.
Yeah. Well, and do you know what? For Cedric Soares, we apparently that he said that years ago that Arsenal went for him before, but it didn't quite go through. But he said, but for it to happen, it's a dream come true for him.
Yeah.
So well, actually, Arsenal have got a chance to actually buy him at the end of the in the summer because that's when his current deal expires with the Saints. So I think Arsenal have paid out. I think it's just under £1 million for the loan deal. Well, for Soares, I think we've paid just under £1 million for the loan deal, and I think we're looking to buy him for estimated. I think it's between £8 to £10 million. Or am I thinking Pablo Mari? I think it's Pablo Mari. It's going to be about £8 to £10 million in terms of.
That's Mari. That's Mari. Mari, we're gonna pay that. The other one is a free transfer. So sure business.
Mube, listen.
But I know we're paying £65,000 for his contract for his wages for the rest of the campaign.
Mube, Luca's not happy. He says, "Why would you bring an injured player who can't play between 3 and 4 weeks? Terrible. Should have got maximum Aaron and also with Mari. I'm happy. I can't complain. But it's Cedric I'm concerned about."
We have a right back. Anybody that comes in, you wasn't going to just banish Bellerin regardless. He's not injured. So anybody that comes in, I don't care if you got, I don't know, somebody from Real Madrid to come in. They wasn't going to start over Bellerin this weekend. So if you count this weekend, from this weekend till the next game, you're looking at 3 weeks before we play again. He's already back in training. You can see the training pictures. He was already doing work with us today. And then we have 3 weeks from now. He's not coming in. They didn't buy him. We brought him for cover in the right back position and to give Bellerin competition. So we have 2 right backs at the club. Bellerin is fit. He played well the last 2 games. He's gonna be fine. Give this guy time to bed into the club. We can't just bring a player in Friday and turn around and play him Sunday. Then he have a crap game. Then what? And everybody's gonna turn on him and say, "Oh, he's a crap signing." It doesn't work like that.
Yeah. Richard, Luca goes on to say, in the summer, I want to see Upamecano, Ndidi, Decore. He's asking for everyone.
Yeah.
He wants everyone.
Yeah.
Well,
Be realistic.
if I'm being completely honest, I would like to see Upamecano in the summer because I think that's the time the RB Leipzig are actually looking to sell him, is roughly in the summer. It's going to be about 40-50 million pounds max. In terms of, I do still think we do need another defensive midfielder to play alongside Torreira, just to give us that sort of midfield balance. And if I really had to go for either one of those two, it'll be Ndidi all over, 100%. Max Aarons, I think he's a good player. He's quite young, so I think he'll be ideal to bring in if maybe someone does get injured. But at the moment, I don't think we need another right back because if we've got midfielders that are fully fit, AZ Maitland-Niles can be the backup if either Bellerin or Soares gets injured. So right back, I don't think we need. Ziyech, I think that's a bit too far-fetched, I think, at the minute. Because I think Ajax are going to be wanting at least about 45, maybe up to 60 million pounds for him in terms of the summer. So that's going to be a no-go. If you're going to look at someone for a number 10, I'd bring in James Maddison. If I'm honest, that's who I would bring in.
Yeah, that's gonna be 70 million. Okay, we ain't buying Madison.
But Mube, do you know what? The only thing is Arteta is actually looking at James Maddison for the summer move. That's who he's looking at.
I'll actually rather go for Grealish because they look like they're going to get relegated. He'd probably be cheaper to get.
Oh yeah.
I don't see much difference between Grealish.
Good call.
Yeah, I don't see much difference between him and Madison, to be honest. Both English players, both young players, and Grealish is actually a gooner. He loves Arsenal. Yeah. So if you're going to spend that much money on an English player, a player that his team is going to get relegated, if we go for it, we can get him. Madison, on the other hand, just remember they sell Mahrez to City for $60 million. He's not an English-based player. The price doubled just because you're English. It happens.
Yeah.
They just sell one of the worst defenders to Man U for $80 million. You really think they're going to sell their playmaker for less than that? It's not going to happen. So I don't think Madison is even as far-fetched for me. It all depends on if Ozil move on. What's going to happen with him? Because he's going to have 1 year left on his contract also. Nobody's talking about him signing on. And we already hear when Rahul and those guys come in, they say they're not going to let it. Nobody's going to run their contract down. So it all depends on what happens with Ozil. You know, we have him, move him on, bring somebody in. We do have a lot of body in central midfield. So I can't see another defensive midfielder coming in unless somebody like Granit Xhaka leaves. And there is a lot of body in there. You have Guendouzi. You have, Torreira. You have Niles that we're going to move up there now. You have a lot of players. Willock. Willock is still there. Tobias is on loan. I'm pretty sure he's going back. They're not going to keep him. But unless we free up some space in there, I can't see us even getting a player in midfield unless Ozil go, like I said. And if he doesn't sign a contract, which he's not because they're not going to offer him another contract, in the summer, I would like to see him move on for the better of him, for the better of this club, for the better of the fans. Just move on from it and let's start off fresh with the new players that we have.
Yeah. Muba, here's one for you from Stan the Man. So Lacazette turned into Elmer Heskey. He worked so hard for the team.
I know, man. It seemed like it. We always go through this patch with those strikers. I don't know what happened. Same thing happened with Giroud. Giroud went like months and months without scoring. I don't know. I think it's just a curse. Maybe that number 9 curse is coming back. I do not know, man.
And then he goes on to say that Lacazette spends too much time flexing.
And Al, do you know what? I was going to say, did you know that Pablo Mali is actually the first left-footed centre-back since Thomas Vermaelen?
That's I think he'll add more balance to the defense.
Yeah. And as I said in the comment,
his long passing is really good.
Yeah, and as I said in the comments, what he'll do, he'll bring us a bit more organisation at the back, and he'll make us play a little bit better in terms of if we want to play a high defensive line.
So will you still play David Luiz, Richard?
I'd play with a back 3.
Okay.
Why not? Why not?
Okay.
No, right now that ain't gonna happen. Not with Arteta. Arteta is not the tinker man. It ain't gonna happen. You don't see Manchester City playing with him. Arteta is not a tinker man. He has his way of playing. Players got to adapt to it. I mean, that's it, and that's what you love to see when you have a coach in there. But back to what you said about Lacazette. I think the problem, all I need him to do, and I'm tell Stan this, Mr. Stan, I just need Lacazette to get back to basics. Just get back to basic and be a striker. Forget all this running around and trying to. He's trying so hard to do everything. When it comes down to him doing his own job, he's so tired. He can't. He's finishing. He's missing some sitters, and that's usually not him. Left foot, right foot. He's usually so deadly when he get a chance. He just need to get back to basic. Just just be a striker. Try and finish some chance. Allow your other players around you to let stuff develop. You just finish the chances when you get it, man. Just get back to basic. But he's not no email Esky. Don't worry about it. My guy is coming back. He's coming back. He's coming back.
All right, back in the chat. Stan says, those two signings show us where we are financially. Yeah. We're skint and shopping in Poundland. Yeah. You mean,
no, we could say that about Martinelli too, but look how that ended up.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
There's some real good players to be got at Poundland. Sometimes
look at Mane. Liverpool got him from Southampton for what, $30 million. I mean, sometimes you have to outsmart the market. It's just the way it is. Yeah. You know, they got Robertson from Hull City for pennies. When you look at the window, $8 million. He's the best left back in England, if not the world, right now. You know, and then we still have all these young players at our club, man, that we have to give chances. Don't forget, I seen the game. I didn't watch the game, but I was watching the actual highlights, like a 3-minute clip of Saliba playing against Monaco the other day, and he looked like a monster over there, man. This kid, 18-year-old defender, he looks like a good player that we got in our hands. So we have to take all that in consideration. I'm just glad that we didn't spend any money to commit to any players right now, because I think in the summer we're gonna need a rebuild. And I think if we can just try. If we finish in the Champions League places, if we somehow win the Europa League or finish top 4, I have no doubt that we're gonna spend big money in the summer. It all depends on if we get back in the Champions. We can't really spend that much money right now without the Champions League money. It really does make a difference. Here goes this guy. Here we go again. Here we go again. Another hater.
You understand. You've missed it, man. You've missed it.
Morbe, you owe to the tin.
He does.
Oh, man. You guys.
Oh, dear me. All right, back in the chat. Got Jose says, good evening, fellas. Says Mube.
My guy.
And then we've got Don Juan. Don Juan, what's happening, man? It's all good over here on Cannon Foy TV. We've got Stan the Man. We've got two-thirds of the mafia on Cannon Foy TV, man. Yeah. Stan the Man and Mube. What else do we have? Let's have a look. Luca goes on say.
Go ahead.
No, go, Mube. Go on.
No, I want to hear Stan prediction, because you know he missed the negative too. Him and IG, both of them. Get on my nerves with their negative self. What's you know?
Yeah, it's not. Most of my predictions of this season have been draws, right? But that's what we've been playing for. I don't like to call a draw. Yeah. The last game I was looking at a win. I called a win. We just didn't score as many goals. And I think that we've, to be fair, Moba, I think that we've turned a corner now. And I think that we're going to start seeing more wins coming. You know, every game I can see improvement. So I'm hoping that the draws come to an end and we start to see. We haven't had a game yet where we've seen like a 3, 4, 5 spanking of someone. And I think we're due one. You know, we're due
tomorrow would be good to get that.
And as everybody knows on the Arsenal fan circle, if we score 4 or more,
Yeah, Luchador.
we see the Arsenal luchador. He will make his return. So yeah, four goals. I'm looking for 4 goals this weekend.
Guys, here's a question for you. Comes from Don White. Says, something Arsenal fans never talk about. Socrates' contract ends this summer. Do you think Arsenal will offer him a new deal, Stan?
I didn't know that. I didn't know when his contract was up. But I
thought he had another year.
Well, you've got to think, right? We have got quite a lot of centre backs at the club. We've just got another one coming in. We've got Saliba as well, who's going to be coming in next season, and it wouldn't surprise me. And I pray to the sweet Lord every night on my hands and knees that in the summer we'll be bringing in Upamecano. So you know, if we look at maybe Mustafi, looks like the club has been trying to move him on for some time. Mavropanos, I think he's either going to probably remain out on loan or we're probably going to sell him as well. I think David Luiz is going to be with us for at least another season. There's no way we brought him in just for one season, so he's still going to be hanging around. Maybe I think Socrates might be the one to go because we could be quite congested. You've got to remember as well, we've got Holding and Chambers in that position. So, you know, with Saliba coming in, and if we do go big on someone like an Upamecano, maybe Socrates will be, you know, maybe he'll be making way.
Okay.
I think whether his contract is up or not, it's time to move on from Socrates. I think whether it's, I thought he had another year. How is his contract up before Mustafi? We cannot get rid of this guy, Mustafi. Like, how is his contract up before Mustafi contract? How much contract did we give him when we signed him? 8 years? I'll never forgive Wenger for this one. But yeah, man, even if his contract ain't up in the summer, we need to move him on, and we're not going to give him a new one.
No.
So why let him run his contract down? You know, we have to, with Holden, like you said, there's a lot of players. With Holden, even if we don't bring in another center back, if we keep Marie and bring Saliba back, you're looking at, we have like 5 center backs at the club, playing center backs at the club. Not even counting the young players like Mavropanos and stuff like that. So I think either way, I think we need to move on from Socrates and Mustafi. Needs to be departed this summer, regardless of contract situation. I do think we have to move on from him.
Okay. There's another question for you guys from the chat. What are your thoughts on Arteta as Arsenal manager? And he rates him as an 8 out of 10. Richard.
Well, let's put it this way. At least with under Mikel Arteta, none of the players are getting away with what they would have done with Unai Emery and with Arsene Wenger. Let's put it that way. I think that we've actually finally got a system. We know our style of play. That he's trying to bring back the old Arsenal DNA, not trying to have too many passes leading up to a goal. And I think he's got us well structured in terms of defensively as well. Now, when Mikel Arteta first came in, I was a bit wary. I had my doubts. I was thinking like he didn't have no managerial experience in terms of managing a first team. But to be honest, he hasn't done too bad as a manager. He's finally made us turn a corner. And personally, I think I would give him about the same, 8 out of 10.
Okay. Stan. Arteta as manager.
I like him. You know, it wasn't the person that I would have written down and said, yeah, that's my first choice when we were looking for a replacement for Emery. But I like him. I enjoy listening to his press conferences. I enjoy listening to how he talks about the team and what his vision is. My rating for him is going to be a 6. And before you say that's too low, it's only because it's an improving number, right? That number in a couple of weeks will probably be at 7. It's because I don't know nothing about this guy as a manager. And as we move along, you know, every week he's gaining points with me. So it might sound like a low score, but, you know, we've only seen him sort of manage 6 or 7 games. And he's kind of probably earned a point for every game because I've always seen improvement. And I've always, you know, I'm actually looking forward now to the next games. I can't wait to the next games. So he's actually brought some joy back into my football life, my football viewing.
Mube, thoughts on Arteta?
I'm gonna give him a 7. I'm with Stan what he said, far as it's a rising number. I wasn't, like many of us, wasn't too intrigued about him coming in as manager with no experience. I just think it should be his first move into management is to come take over this big task as Arsenal that it was. But the first thing that he did, and that's what make me rise it up. The players are playing well, the team is playing better, but he seemed to just have something with the fans, even who was against him. All of a sudden, it's just everybody is just, it just seemed together. It seemed like everybody is on the same boat going forward. Yeah, you still have a couple of idiots here and there that say stuff all the time, but if you get past that, the majority of the fan base are with him. They're right behind him, right behind the team. He seemed to, if you look at the Xhaka, the Granit Xhaka situation, that was not easy, and he has navigated through that problem, got him back on board with the fans. It's not just him playing style, but with the fans, everybody was wanting him gone. 80% of the fan base wanted him gone after what happened. And right now, if you ask people, nobody really wants Xhaka to leave. So the fact that he is a good people person, you can see that he's a good guy all around. And I think it comes from him working so long with Wenger and working with Pep Guardiola. He learns that you have to be man manager, and he's a good man manager. What I like about him, you know, he's not going to throw players onto the bus, but he's not going to let them get away with anything, like Richard said either. Everybody has been held accountable for their own mistakes, and you got to love that about him.
Stan, what's your thoughts on Pablo Mari? What's your thoughts?
The two people that we brought in, I know nothing about. You know, nothing. I never heard. I didn't even know Pablo Mari walked this earth until I saw his name on Twitter. So I don't really have any expectations or any comments. Obviously, I hope he really does well. And like everybody else, I've looked at a few clips, and you know, the penny drop that he played a recent game against Liverpool. But I mean, you know, we are shopping for bargains. You know, we can't run away from the fact the guy's 26 years old. And at 26 years old, you kind of been around a little bit now in a footballer's lifespan. You know, you're coming up to maybe the peak years of your life. Maybe this is a guy that, you know, once he's given a chance under the tutelage of Arteta, he'll shine. I really don't know. The other guy that we brought in from Southampton, again, I don't know too much about him. I did listen to a very good analysis breakdown of him on Tom's Gooner Talk yesterday. He usually gets a guy in when we're buying someone who comes from that club, who can tell us a little bit about the player. And I thought that quite interesting. And if anybody wants to know a little bit more about those two players, I would urge them to go and look at those two videos. The one thing that jumped out of me of what the guy from Southampton said, who Tom had on, was that he's not very good at passing. Seems to be Cedric's biggest downfall. You know, he was talking about a game recently where, you know, he just had to square pass the ball along the goal to the Southampton player. You know, and he totally ballsed it up. He kind of said that he's going to miss Cedric Soares because he's been there for so long, but he kind of painted a picture where it really does depend on the day, on what side of bed he gets out of on match day, depending on the kind of performance that you're going to get. Some days he'll have a really good tight performance, you know, good defending. Other days it's almost like playing with 10 men. So, you know, that could just be down to coaching, and under someone, you know, under Mikel Arteta and his team, he may be able to bring the best out of him. But we have to remember that if we had money, we probably wouldn't have brought in these two players. There would have probably been other people higher up on the list that we would have gone for. So we have to go with what we've got, get behind them, and fingers crossed, maybe he's unearthed another couple of gems, you know, another couple of Martinellis are in there. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay, back into the chat. Joseph says, it's quality over quantity. Please look at how United have turned with the big names and spent over £500 million. Yeah. They spent a lot of money. Yes. Yeah,
they have turned for the better or for the worse. Because United is much better than us. Yeah. That's for sure. So, I mean, To back to what Stan was saying, Cedric, the Cedric guy. I don't know if you remember, but for the Euros, he played the Euro for Portugal. He played right back for them the whole Euros that they just won, and he played for them when they just won the whatever play cup that was in the summer. He's Portugal first choice right back. So that's the kind of positive stuff that I'm looking at, because in a good defensive system, which Portugal is, they don't, even though they have Cristiano Ronaldo up front, they don't score a lot of goals. They win most of the game by 1-0. That's how they got through the Euros, winning on penalties. They're a good defensive unit. That's what I'm trying to keep positive about him coming in. Because maybe in a better team, where he's not expected to go forward, Southampton is not a team that's just gonna pepper your goal like a Man City will or Arsenal will, where you're playing against weaker teams. Maybe if he's not required to go forward as much as he is at Southampton, he can pick and choose his time to go forward and deliver across if he ain't got to try and do it all the time. Because I see him play for Portugal with better players around him, obviously, and he looks a player, And like I was telling them earlier before you came on, I was go back and look at Southampton last 10 games that he has played. They had some good results in there when he has played with them. They haven't really conceded a lot of goals. So I think he's going to come in and do well, man. I'm putting my neck out on a limb here, but I think he's going to be here long term.
The other positive thing as well about that, Cedric, is that he can play on either flank as a fullback. He can play left or right.
Yep.
It's good that we've got someone that can slot in anywhere.
And you know what as well, Stan? Richard came up with a good stat that Pablo Mari is the first left-footed centre-back since Van Aalen.
I listened to that, and I did put it in the chat box that when there was a lot of talk, I think it was last season under Emery, and everybody was talking about the defence and how we should change it up. David Luiz likes to play on the left side of a back four, and so does Mari. So I don't know how that will affect those two playing together, because Rob Holding, even though I think he's a right-footed player, he also prefers to play on the left of the two as well. And I remember back then thinking, if we're going to bring in Holding, who out of Holding and Luiz is going to be happy to play out of their natural position, right? Because they both like playing on the left side. So with Mari as well, it's going to be interesting to see how we line up a back four, right? But that's what we've got the manager to figure out.
Yeah.
See, the thing with Luiz, I think he's always been forced to play that left-handed side, because every team that you don't really have a lot of left-footed center backs around. He was playing at Chelsea. He was playing with Azpilicueta. You're gonna pick him because he's very two-footed as a center back. Yeah. Every team that he plays in, he is actually playing on the left-hand side because there's not a left-footed center back there. He's probably more comfortable to play on that side, but I don't think it should be a problem with him playing on the right. It's just that he's two-footed. You don't really have a lot of two-footed center backs, so he's always the one that they're going to move to the left to accommodate the next one on the right.
Right.
I really don't think it will be a problem. I think it will bless Arteta more to have these two players playing. Like I said, I've seen some passes that this guy's been making, pinging them 60, 70 yards. You definitely need that in the team. With him, you have Granit Xhaka that can do it, and now you have David Luiz that can do it also. It's definitely going to open our game a little bit more. So hopefully, as long as we don't make those mistakes and give away easy goals, I'm trying to play out from the back, I think we'll be all right.
All right, there's a bit of controversy in the chat. Jose, Pepe, I told people we're all getting overhyped about Pepe. You don't spend £72 million on a player that only scores 7 goals in open play. Stop hoping for these big names, and then they don't pan out. You're soon to slate them. Did we pay over the odds for Pepe, Richard? Have we paid too much money for Pepe?
No, not really. Not in terms of the way he was performing for Lille. Not at all. I have seen very, very good glimpses of Nicolas Pepe. He likes to drive forward. He's very direct. He likes to cut inside. And you think about it, I don't think we have paid over years, because when we played against Liverpool at Anfield, he was turning Robertson left, right, and centre, literally turning him inside out. And Robertson's supposed to be one of the best left backs in the league. So we must have a good player on our hands. But remember, Dennis Bergkamp also told us that it takes time for a player to adapt to the league. It takes time. this is his first season coming into Arsenal, and this is not even his full season yet. It's not his proper full season yet. So we've got to give him time, give him till the end of the season, and see how he goes with the next season, and see if he's adapting more quicker. I think he's adapted to the pace of the Premier League. He has adapted, but I don't think he's not at the fully adaptation yet. I think the best is still yet to come from Pepe.
The problem that I have with that comment is you said, don't expect good games from these players. Of course we're going to expect good game from these players. These are top signing. Like, what kind of foolishness is that? That doesn't make sense whatsoever. If you look at players, you can't just judge a player half a season. Look at all the big players that have come into the league, and they say quality, not quantity. If you look at Harry Maguire, he doesn't look like he's worth $80 million at all. He look like he's worse than Mustafi. He looked like it right now. Did you watch the game with them in City the other night? He passed the ball right to David Silva, dead in front of his own goal. I mean, you just kind of make it up. $80 million. If you look at Fred, a prime example, Fred at Manchester United, he's playing so well right now. Last season, he was such a crap player. I remember us playing against him. If you look at him this season, they pay like $60 million. For some reason, all these Manchester United top players, high deals, just keep getting pushed onto the rug for some reason. But they pay a lot of money for Fred. He's looking good this season. You got to give these players time. So what if he scores 7 goals? Or we expect a lot more from him, yes, but are we going to just say forget it and not support him after a half a season? I don't think so. I think that's kind of, I don't know. You got to support the players, man, to thick and thin. If you look at Chelsea, played $72 million for their keeper. He's one of the worst keepers in the league. He can see some of the worst goals in the league. Leno is way better than him, and we pay $25 million for Leno. You can't just judge a player on the price tag that we pay for him. Pepe is 24 years old. It's not like he's 31. He has time on his hands, and he's going to be a good player. So support the players, man. Just deal with it.
Stan, have we overpaid for Pepe?
It's a big fee, right? It is a big fee, and we did have one of them sort of super agents involved in the transfer. But with Nicolas Pepe, the only worry that I have with Nicolas Pepe is that he is so predominantly one-footed. And I tweeted this out during the week. I don't understand that. If you are a top pro employed at a top football club, that you should be able to work with both feet. I mean, you've got training facilities and coaches. If you are at the top of your game and you're predominantly one-footed, you should be staying behind for a little bit extra, or coming in a little bit early and just kicking a football with your weaker foot up against a wall, or doing drills or taking penalties, because surely that's going to make you even more valuable in your field of work. If you're good with both feet, that's going to just make you, clubs are going to want you. It's going to improve your game. So I'm just a bit concerned that he is so one-footed, and we play him on the right side, and we always know what he's going to do. He's never going to take that ball to the byline and whip in across, because he can't cross with his right foot. So I'd like to see perhaps the flank switching during games. The two wide men switching it around. So for some of the game, we have Pepe doing his trickery and coming inside on players. And he can switch over to the left and then take it on the outside of players and perhaps whip in across with his left foot and just change it up so that he's not as predictable. But I really like him.
Yeah.
Prime example, Stan, of a player that make a living with 1 foot. I'm going to give you an example, and nobody can deny this. Remember Ian Robin? Everybody know what he was going to do. They couldn't stop him. He was the most one-footed player you ever seen play on that right-hand side. Ian Robin, that used to play for Chelsea and play for Bayern Munich, he made a living off that left foot. The problem I have with Pepe now, he's not taking enough shots. I really think he doesn't take enough shots. And he delay on the ball a little bit too much. Just take some more shots.
Okay.
And another problem that I have with Pepe is that sometimes he gets forward. He takes 1-2 passes with his feet and then just passes it to the side sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. Again, Jose is not happy. He says Holding needs to go as well. As I see it, his career isn't progressing, and he's still Premier League inexperienced, in my opinion. Been here for 4 years and can't get more than 9 league games under him in a full season, Richard. Oh.
To be honest, I don't reckon that Arsenal would be looking to sell Holding.
4 seasons? He hasn't been
I'm
with us
not
for
100%. I don't think he's
Gotta
been
be around
here
that.
that
Is
long.
it?
Got to be, I think. Didn't he come in sort of around the same time as Callum?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been here for 4 years. He came the two seasons before Wenger left. So yeah,
Okay.
it's been around. This is fourth season, but listen,
you know what, guys?
he was playing so well.
I don't think Holding's going to go.
No.
He'll be used as a backup.
No, he's coming off a long-term injury, man. Look how he played on at Embry when he was playing last year. He had his breakout season. Before that, the season before that, he was playing with Mertesacker. Don't forget, we went on and win the FA Cup. He was there playing with Mertesacker in that defense. He started the season, Emery first season. He played more than 9 games. He played the whole season. He played till he got injured around Christmas time. He played that whole time until he got injured. He was one of those players that Emery was playing every single game, whether it was Thursday night or Sunday night. He was one of those players that was playing every single game and putting in a performance because he was that ball-playing center back that was playing that ball out when Emery first came to Arsenal. He got injured. He was out for 6 months, 7 months. He just came back. We got to give this. We got to learn as fans. We got to learn to give, especially the young players. If you want to talk about shipping somebody out, I don't want nobody talk about shipping any center backs out until they talk about Mustafi. It would be nice to hear this guy comments on Mustafi to see that if you think that, because if you want to get rid of players, we have to get rid of these older players that ain't going to get any better. You want to give up on a 25-year-old player that we know that we haven't seen the best of him yet, when we have all these deadwood players at Arsenal that really needs to go or on big wages that's not doing much, keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Let's get rid of these players first before we even start talking about these young players. I mean, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
My thing with Rob Holding is that if someone says to me, Stan, what's your thoughts on Rob Holding? My honest answer is I don't know, because I've just not seen enough of him for long periods of time. What I have seen of him, like Mobe says, when he has those little runs in the team, I've been quite impressed with him. But then it's always unfortunate that he gets taken out of the team for one reason or another, and then we don't get to see him in a long run. So the jury for me is still out. I believe that there's a player in there, but I'd really like him. I'd like the coaching staff to take their time bringing him back. Let's make sure that he comes back 100%, not 80, not 85 or 90. If it takes a little bit longer, fine. And then we can sit back and say, okay, you're 100% now. We're going to give you some playing time. Let's see what this guy can do, because I think that there is a player in there. But I'm not sure if he's injury prone or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, we got way more problems than Holding to deal with back there in that defense.
Yeah.
That's the last resort.
In the words of Jay-Z, we've got 99 problems and Holding's not one of them.
Yeah, he's not one of them right now.
Listen, Don wants to come back with some information in regards to Socrates. He says, my bad, guys. His contract runs out 2021. Just checked.
Still need to go.
Yeah, that's what he's saying, that we might have to move him on. Okay, and Mube, there's one here for you from Don Juan. I would love to know the Americans' thoughts on our current owner, Stan Kroenke. Is his reputation as bad as we hear, Mube?
No, yeah, it's pretty bad. Nobody likes Stan. The NFL, I know you guys probably don't watch the NFL that much, but you have NFL fans that hate him. He pretty much took up a whole team from somebody's city that been there forever. It's like moving. He pretty much, to put it down in your terms, he pretty much moved Arsenal from London to another city. That's pretty much what he just did with the Rams, moving them from Oakland to LA. They hate him. Nobody over here likes him, except for the people in LA, of course, because he brought a whole team there. Nobody likes this guy, man. He's as bad as you hear it. England about him. Trust me, he's probably 10 times worse over here. And nobody cares for this guy, man. He's such a snake. And us as Arsenal fans that know what he's doing and see the amount of money that he spent on that team, they have the best of the best players. I'm talking about they have top players. They was just in the Super Bowl a year ago. They have top players. He do invest a lot in that team. So when you see stuff like that, it's kind of unfortunate. But trust me, this guy is. We don't really like him over here either. Don't get it twisted.
Well, listen, just to just follow on from Pepe. Don Juan says Pepe will come good. I hope so.
There you go.
One from GK. I don't think Pepe's downfall isn't being new to the Premier League or never playing in it, but lack of intelligent running and finding space. What's he doing is nothing new from what he was doing at Lille.
Well, maybe that's going to be down to coaching, right? Look how much some of the wingers at Manchester City improved, Sane and Sterling, and they have both come out and attributed a lot of that success to Mikel Arteta, his training methods. So let's see. I mean, let's see what Mikel Arteta can do with Nicolas Pepe. I think it's only one way, and that will be up.
Time, man. Time. Just be patient with these players. Time.
Absolutely.
We see Sterling was now 3 years ago. Arteta went there and made him into who he is. You know, you need coaching. Maybe he's not the most intelligent in making those runs, but eventually he will get it. You know, he's not gonna be, Cristiano Ronaldo in his prime right away. You know, not every player is like that. Some players need coaching. He got the basics down. He's a quick player. He can shoot, can take a free kick. He has the basics down to learn. We can see the potential there. So we just have to give these players time, along with all these new players that's coming in. Don't expect Marie to come in and be Van Dijk. We have to give these players time. It's just so nice to see us getting new players in. We haven't been buying no players, and now we're getting players in the defensive area that we needed. It's good to see the club trying to at least do something instead of sitting there and, oh, we tried, but we didn't get anything done. You know, we didn't try this time. We actually got a couple players in, so we can actually look forward to something. And like Stan said earlier, I'm actually looking forward to a game. I'm actually looking forward to games again. I usually dread it for the past couple of months. I usually Arsenal play again. It don't even matter who it was. You'll be like, not today. You know, what's going to happen? What Arsenal is going to show up? You know, so the feel good factor is back, man. Let's not start attacking our players. Don't not start attacking the managers. Let's just try and support the team. Yep. I'm in. I'm all in. Win, lose, or draw till the end of the season. We have to just be all in. I'm looking at this as a 6-month preseason because Arteta is going to have to step it up next season too.
Okay, I'm going to wrap up this. Well, I thought it was going to be a bite-sized version, less than like 40 or 50 minutes, but been going for an hour and almost 20 minutes. I've got Mube, I've got Standard Man, I've also got Richard from Arsenal TV on the Easy Talk feature-length version. Make sure who's watching now, you subscribe to Cannon 4 TV on all platforms. We are now back and running live on YouTube. Stan the Man has got his own segment on Cannon 4 TV, Gooners in Vancouver. Stan?
Yeah, we'll have another video coming for you after the Burnley game. And it's really nice to see that a lot of people are actually jumping into the comments and interacting with the videos. So thank you to those of you that are doing that. Spread the word and come to Cannon for the TV for your post-match reactions.
Yeah, and I've got to say, actually, your post-game reaction, the last one you did there was one of the best that I've seen in a long time. Cannon 4 TV, really, really good.
It's funny, but a few people have because that's the first one that I've actually done on my own, right? Mike wasn't with me, so I had to take my phone and my little tripod, and it was a lot of people wanted to get back to work for their lunch. I thought, I'll do one on my own. And usually when you're asking questions and leading it, it's a lot different to just sitting there, and just speaking into the camera, which is basically what you was doing at the beginning of this show. And I have to say, Alex, you was doing it very well.
Cheers. Thank you very much. But guys, again, make sure whenever Gooners in Vancouver do their videos, Stan the Man, get into the comments box and tell Stan what you think about the game etc., etc., etc.
And be nice,
Richard?
be nice in the comments because my mum does monitor what's going on.
That's a good point because my mum always watches almost all the live streams. But anyway, that's a different story. Richard,
it's a little bit later actually because I send him to her in Cyprus. So, hi, Mum, love you.
There you go. Richard, thanks for coming at short notice on the Easy Talk.
Thank you for the invite. Anyway, thank you.
Can't hear you, Richard. Oh, he's
Sorry.
muted.
Thank you for the invite. Anyway, Al, thank you.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Mube, Bloodfire.
Yes, sir. We're here. As always, man. You know, if we're available, we coming on the show.
Nice
Keep
one.
it going, man. Doing a good job with this channel. You know, I've seen you around when I was on the YouTube doing my own thing, but you took it over, man. I'm proud of you guys. Stan, I keep checking out your videos. You're doing a good job, man. You boys just keep going.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
And actually, before we wrap up this segment of the feature-length version of the Easy Talk, there's just one comment that's come into the chat, and I think it's actually a good point. Don was asking, are you happy to see Saka turn into a left back, or is his future on the wing, Richard?
Do you know what? I think a lot of people do actually forget that Saka actually played as a left wing back for the under 23s or the under 18s. He actually played in that position before. So I think he's taken that and bring it into the first team. And I think he's got a great partnership with Martinelli down on that left flank as well. They have a great understanding between them. And I'm actually quite happy with him going in there. And that's why I don't think that Arsenal are actually going to go for a proper left back, because they actually see Saka maybe at the age that he is, he's adapting to that position and making it his own. So long as he gets first team football, I think he'll be happy whatever happens.
Mube, what's your thoughts on Saka?
I'm happy with him there now. He's doing a good job. I don't want to see him there long term, though. I think going forward, he's such a dynamic player. You don't want to put that kind of defensive responsibility on him forever. He's doing a good job of it now. He's 18 years old. Wherever you put him on the field, he's going to be happy to play there, and he's going to do a good job of it. But I don't want to see him there long term. He's really doing a good job. And him and, like you said, Martinelli have struck up a partnership. But if we remember, in the first part of the season when he was playing left wing, he was just as good, putting in those same crosses. Don't forget those goals that he scored in those goals that he scored in the Europa League this season. He's a really good young player, man. But like Richard said, he's getting game time now. With Tierney and Kolasinac out, he's getting a lot of game time. Maybe it's a good thing he's playing there now because he's learned the defensive side of the game. You move him a little bit forward, he will be one of those players that we get back on defense and can still get forward. So I don't want to see him converted into a left back. No, I want to see him finish his career further forward. But for right now, he's doing a great job, and I'm happy with him till those boys come back.
Hey, but Stan, have we found the proper position for Granit Xhaka at left back?
Just touching on the Saka thing now, I always considered him and Ainsley Maitland-Niles as nothing but stopgaps for the fullback position. But when you see Saka creating goals and scoring goals from that position, which is not supposed to be his natural position, it's hard to discount him playing in that position because you don't see Kolasinac, scoring a lot of goals from that position or creating a lot of goals. But it can only help him in his position as a winger, knowing what's required behind him. He's now been playing in that position and having to help out Martinelli. So it can only help him having to know that he does have to come back sometimes and help out the fullback because he's been playing there. But your question about Xhaka, I kind of think that Xhaka's just going through a new manager bounce for me. And he has put in some good performances under Mikel Arteta. But for me, he still looks like he's operating on the edge a little bit. And I keep thinking to myself that any game now, he's going to do a Mustafi. So I just, you know,
he's playing well, man.
he has been playing well, and you have to give it to him for mentally for making the comeback into the team that he does after everything that was going on around him a few months ago. But for me, taking all of that aside and just looking at him as a football player for Arsenal Football Club, I think that we can do better in that position. I still do. He may be doing okay. He may be doing okay, but if you've got some money in the kitty, we could definitely upgrade on that position and do better.
Arteta has done two things for Xhaka. He has put Torreira back in his position and moved Granit Xhaka out of it, because that's what Emery couldn't get around his head, is that Torreira wasn't a central attacking midfielder. He has come in and put Torreira right beside him. Torreira is just doing a good job. A good Torreira make a better Granit Xhaka. Absolutely agree with you. We can upgrade on him. But for right now, he's playing well. You can see that he has changed. One thing that I noticed would always scream at the TV when he does it. When he picks the ball up, there will be nobody in front of him for like 20 feet, and he will not drive the ball forward. He will try to make a pass from wherever he picked the ball up from. And I'm always like, drive at players, like do something. If you look at him right now, look at when he picked the ball up. If there's nobody in front of him, he starts running with the ball, driving forward. That pushed the whole team forward. And I see that change in him. So, like I said, a better Torreira, make a better Granit Xhaka. And he's one of our best players right now. Yeah, he's not going to be a Mustafi. Nobody can be.
So what I just said there, which is my problem with Xhaka, is that for me, he's always seemed to slow the game down. But I think Mube is right. You know, having Torreira and Xhaka playing in their correct positions, it was almost like with Emery, he was playing them back to front a little bit. He wanted Xhaka to be the first DM because of his stature, and he wanted Torreira to be like a little tricky sort of like number 8. That's not going to work. You know, Torreira is best at running around and putting out the fires, you know, and helping to cover that next person in the midfield, which is Xhaka. I just think that we could definitely upgrade, and I think that I like what Mikel Arteta is doing. He's making everybody feel important. He's saying all the right things about them because he knows that his funds are limited. He knows that his hands are going to be tied into the summer. So he's making sure that he can keep everybody on board, on side, and get the best out of them until he can financially afford to upgrade. And I think that you might see a bit more of a ruthless side in Arteta if he's got money in the summer. I think a couple of players are going to be on their way, and I think Xhaka might be one of them.
Listen, guys, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Again, guys, thank you for coming in. Short notice for being my guests on the Easy Talk. Quite late here in London, at 9:45 in the evening. Mube, once again,
early here for me.
And the host of Goons in Vancouver. Again, guys, whoever's watching now or at a later stage, whenever Goons in Vancouver do the uploads, make sure you get into the comments box and let Stan know your thoughts on the game. Anyhow, if you've been wondering who or what you've been watching Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans, literally all over this world.